Boom. Boom. Here we go. Oh, my phone way much better.
Yes. What's up, B After J gang? Gang, gang, gang. So we decided to go live today because we're doing a Q&A. So
Real questions.
we asked some of you guys like on our social media what kind of questions you guys had. Even some of you guys have been leaving comments or sending us DMs of different things. So shout out to everyone that has submitted questions. We do have a few. But the most like asked question, of course, is how did we meet? And I'm gonna let Bay start this one off.
Hold on one second.
Seriously?
Okay. How do we meet? Okay, all right, let's put it like this. What was it? 2011. I'm gonna start off like that. I had apparently we went back into our
He slid in my DMs on Facebook.
On Facebook, slid into the DMs. This was 2011.
Mind you, I graduated high school in 2011.
Yeah, so this is a long time ago. So anywho, so a couple of years passed or whatever, and when did I hit you up again? Was it two?
I want to say it was like 15.
It was 2015. She used to post stuff. I'll sit there, hit her up, throw her little hard eyes, shoot my shot. Apparently, I've been bricking for years.
Well, it wasn't really that, y'all. Like, the backstory is like, you know how, like, when guys be sliding your DMs and they be talking all that little sweet stuff, and you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's how it was for me. And then at the time, like, back in 2015, I had a boyfriend at the time. So it was just kind of like, okay, oh, that's sweet. When he would say little different things to me, but at the same time, I'm like, I got a man, whatever. So fast forward, I graduated from college in 2015. And then I still, at the time I was living in Chattanooga. So then 2017 comes around. And I mean, we have been talking like sporadically in the meantime between 2015 and 2017. But it wasn't talking like, oh no, relationship type thing. It was just kind of like, he would say stuff like
compliments.
Yeah, like, oh, you look really nice today. Send me heart eyes, or how's your day type thing or whatever. So I kind of kept it to a minimum because, like I said, I had a boyfriend. So 2017 rolls around, and it was like my life was going in a different direction. I was with the same guy, but it was like our relationship was going like this. And then I kind of felt like in that relationship, I was the only person like putting everything in. So I kind of felt like I was alone, even though I wasn't alone, but I just felt that way emotionally. So I didn't say like I was messing around, but at the same time, I kind of felt like my options were open. So it was like he was talking to me, and I was kind of like talking to him more. Like instead of just saying, "Oh, thank you," like we were starting to have like full conversation.
I think this was in September.
Yeah, it was like a little after my birthday. Yeah. So like we started having conversations or whatever.
Then you invited me to the ugly sweater.
Oh yeah. So like I'm from Murfreesboro or whatever. So even though I was living in Chattanooga, like my best friend lives in Murfreesboro. So I was coming home like every other weekend. Mind you, it's only like an hour and a half away. So we had like an ugly Christmas sweater party in November, I want to say.
Is this when you moved back?
Oh, was I already moved back? Okay, so we're going to Ford.
Okay.
Before the ugly Christmas sweater party. This was around like October. Like we had been kind of conversating a little bit more or whatever. And so I had been wanting to move back home. I was like, but I originally wanted to just move to Nashville, which Nashville isn't far from Murfreesboro. So I was just like, I just really want to move back home. Like I'm tired of Chattanooga. My relationship isn't going good. You know, I'm just ready to move. I needed a whole new life change. I was praying about it, praying about it, praying about it. I was asking God, what is going to happen with my relationship? Like, if I find, you know, if he blesses me with a job, I'll move. But I didn't want to move without me finding a job because I'm very independent. I don't want to go home and just be mooching off of my parents. So, lo and behold, I applied for this job that I didn't think I was going to be qualified for. And they called me and they were just like, we need you to come to Nashville for a job interview. And I'm like, what? So I take some days off of work and I go to my interview. Y'all, I'm the type that I feel like I do bad at interviews. So interview, like they're asking me questions, you know, I'm all peppy. I'm like, yeah, so this, that, and they're just looking at me like this.
Right.
So I'm like, dang, like I must have said something like super bad. So after my interview, I called my mom and I was just like, Mom, don't plan on me coming home because I totally bombed that interview. And she was like, no, you probably did good. I was like, no, they didn't even crack a smile at me. I was like, so I know I didn't get it. So I rolled back to Chattanooga all sad and whatnot. So then maybe like not even a week later, I get a call and they're offering me the position and they up my salary. So I'm just like, geez.
Now remind you, I've been hitting her up consistently, even before I knew she was coming back, saying like, oh, you know, you're gonna be mine, this and that, and this and that. She thought I was, you know, like I said, she thought it was some BS.
Yeah,
she thought
like
it was just some random dude, you know, just like, oh, he just talking, he don't mean it. So when she got that job offer, and I found out that she was actually coming back home, I said, oh, it's a wrap.
Yeah, he had like all these ideas, like, well, I don't want to say ideas, but he had all these like, he had all these manifestations basically. Like he was just saying like, you're gonna be mine and we're gonna get married one day and you're the person I see myself with and blah blah. And at the same time I'm still like, yeah, okay, like you don't even really know me like you know me but you don't know me. Like what if you know meet me in person, we don't even click. So I mean, I'm still keeping the conversations going, but at the same time I don't have my mind wrapped around anything, you know, because I'm just like, I mean, I don't really know him like that. So I moved back in November, the week of Thanksgiving, and I started working my job. Everything's going smooth, and like we're talking, but not like super heavy. I'm still just like focused on my job, getting myself moved here. So I wasn't even really, you know, too worried on him, honestly. So it's like December after Christmas. And he tells me like, oh, by the way, my birthday is January 18th. And I'm like, okay. And so he says that they're taking a cabin trip to Gatlinburg. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. I love Gatlinburg. So he goes, well, I was wondering if you wanted to come on the trip with us. I'm like, no. One, because all the people that were going, I didn't know them. I only knew 2 people out of the group that was going. And then for 2, I was just like, they're going to be like, who is this girl that's not your girlfriend? I'm just going to be sitting there like not having a good time. And for 3, I hope you're not expecting me to sleep in the bed with you because I'm not going to do that. So it was just like all these different factors. And then it was like 2 last minute because I think it was like a week or 2 before that he told me. And I hadn't planned that. I'm a planner type. So I hadn't planned that in my schedule. So I was like, no. So he understood and he went on his little cabin trip. And it was before your birthday, right?
Before my birthday, but you skipped the ugly Christmas party.
Oh, yeah. Skirt. Okay, so back to the ugly Christmas sweater party. So once I moved back, like my best friend has a house with her cousin. So me, my best friend Sharita, and my other best friend, his name is LeVar, we threw a ugly Christmas sweater party.
I'll tell you my part.
Terrible. I'll
tell you my part.
Listen, y'all. I invite him trying to initiate like, okay, you know, I am back home. maybe we can hang out and just see, like, even if we're not in a relationship, maybe we could just be really cool friends, you know? So
I wasn't going for
I invite him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm coming."
Oh, time out. I didn't sound, don't let her
He's
bullshit him. I
like,
didn't sound
"Oh
like
yeah,
that.
man, I'm coming. I gotta get me an ugly kissing sweater party. I mean,
I'm
sweater.
gonna explain my part. Hold on. Let me explain my part. Listen.
I need some Indian
That was
first.
it.
No.
Your invite was all you did.
No, I invited him, and I expected him to come, and he said he was coming, right? So the party is going. I mean, when we throw parties, people know it's time to come out. So I mean, everybody come left or right. Ding dong, open the door. What's up? Okay,
She wasn't
it's this
looking for
person,
me
that person.
anyway.
And mind you, I didn't invite a lot of people on my own.
That's what threw me off.
So I'm just like, oh, okay. The night keeps going. I'm like, okay, it's getting a little later, but hey, you know, people are fashionably late. And he never shows up. Mind you, by that time I'm drinking, so it done already done, you know, went over my head that he not there. Because at that point I was like, F him, like he ain't come, so it is what it is. Go ahead and say your little price since you got something to say.
Are you done?
For now.
Okay, so she told me about the ugly Christmas party, ugly sweater Christmas party, whatever. It was Friday, but I had been at work and I'm like, okay, I've never been to a little ugly, ugly sweater Christmas party. No, for real. Like I've never been to one. So I'm at work. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm finna fall off in this little ugly Christmas. I'm finna go get mine as soon as I get off work so I can go to the party. I'm thinking the party is Saturday. But it's been a long week for me.
Mind you, the invitation said Friday, whatever the date was.
Anywho, the whole time I'm thinking that it's Saturday. So I didn't even go back to look at the invitation because I already knew in my head that it was Saturday. I knew the time, all that. So Friday, Friday rolls along. I'm just chilling, like I don't have nothing to do. That whole Friday I was bored out of my mind.
Mind you, I'm posting on Snapchat with my little Santa hat on and my little outfit.
And I think that's the first time that I seen it, and I was like, hold on, bro. And that's what made me go back to the invitation. I was like, oh man. I said, she gonna think that I'm BSing because I didn't show up when I really thought it was Saturday. So
Saturday rolls around, I get this week-old text talking about something. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I don't know why she gives me this voice every time she speaks.
I'm so sorry. I really thought that it was like Saturday, like today, not yesterday. I'm looking at the text, and this is how I do. I'm like, yeah, okay, bye-bye. I'm just like, I done tried to invite you.
She said bye-bye, but where am I at?
Anyway, so fast forward. Okay, so he goes on this cabin trip or whatever, and he comes back, and, you know, he tells me that he had a good time, blah, blah, blah. So we're talking a little bit, but still not like how he would like it to be. So his actual birthday rolls around January 18th, and it was a Thursday night, I remember.
I'm just getting out the shower. I'm chilling, phone on the bed. I get a FaceTime.
I'm okay. I'm in traffic. I work in Nashville but live in Murfreesboro. So I'm in traffic. I'm like heading home from work. So, you know, most people will just be like, oh, happy birthday, send a little like confetti or the balloons. But for some reason, in my mind, I was like, girl, don't be basic. Like, level up on this nigga, okay? So do something that he would just be unexpected about, right? So I said, bet. Don't call him. Don't text him. FaceTime him.
Okay, so when she FaceTimes me, I'm walking to the bathroom and my phone's on the bed. I look at my phone. I'm like, I see her name pop up. I was like, oh no, she didn't mean to call me. But then again, I'm like, I'm gonna pick up anyway. You feel me? Picked up. I'm like, happy? She's like, yeah. Happy birthday. Happy. I was like, oh,
I don't sound like that.
Shit, you gave me a voice, so I'm giving you one. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So I'm like, oh, thank you. And then from there.
Okay, so let me tell them about that conversation. So I was telling him happy birthday. He was really shocked. He looked on his face. He was just like, huh? You know, and I was just, talking to him. I don't know what we were talking about exactly, but I remember I was staying at my best friend's house that night because when I first started working, I was staying at her house on Thursday night, so I wouldn't have to drive so far. So I had stayed at her house that night, but before I went to her house, I had to stop at like the beauty supply store. So I mean, we talked all the way till I made it to Antioch. Then once I got to the store, we was talking when I was in the store. Then when I got to her house, and then that night, him and his friends were going to some hookah bar, and he had asked me to come, but me being the responsible young lady that I am, I knew that I would be getting back late, and I had to get up at like 5 in the morning for work, so I didn't go. And then, like, I don't know, it's just like ever since then, it's been on a consistent, like, talking thing. So,
There hasn't been a day that we skipped since then. From
yeah, I don't know, it was just like something clicked. Like, we talked forever, and we talked like as if we knew each other, right? So,
Now I want to explain the next part.
okay.
So, we haven't. We remind you, we haven't seen each other face to face yet. I mean, we've seen pictures on Instagram,
And then on
Facebook,
FaceTime.
and shit like that. But it hasn't been like face to face. So I'm, me. Sometimes I like to go solo. If my homeboys are not available, I'll go places solo. So I'm at Sam's, a bar and grill. I'm sitting up there and I'm eating. I get a text message from her. Remind you, I'm like in mid eating my food and everything, and she's like, "Hey, you wanna go hookah?" And I was like, "Yeah," without no question. I was like, "Yeah." She's like, I was like, "When you trying to go?" She said, "Now." I was, I was like, "All right."
Okay, let me tell y'all why I was just like so adamant. Okay, so I was driving in the car, and I think like I had been out doing something, and it was like, one of them, it was like a Sunday afternoon. You know how, like, when it's a pretty day and you just don't want to go home? So you're just like, what else can I do? So I was just driving around. I got to thinking about, like, I don't think I had talked to him earlier that day. So I was like, oh, I wonder what V's up to. So I thought I was like, man, I really want to go smoke some hookah. Mind y'all, from the
Hookah
other
thing.
video, y'all know the hookah is my favorite thing to do in my spare time. Y'all comment below if y'all like the hookah. If y'all in Nashville, y'all can come hookah with us. We even did it last night. It's like our weekend ritual. So, I'm just like, oh, I really want to go hookah. And I'm like, let me see what V is up to. Maybe we can actually finally, like, have our own face-to-face, like, thing or whatever. So that's when I was like, yeah, like, now. And he was like, oh, okay.
So when she tells me that, the waiter, I don't know where, she passed by me about 30 times before she even called me. But as soon as Jazz called me, I could not find this lady. As soon as I told her, I was like, yo, can I get my check? She finally came back, get my check, signed, and I was gone. Now, when I'm driving, she sends me this location to this hookah spot. The hookah spot that I go to, I passed this place a million times, like a million times, but I've never known it was a hookah spot. So I pull up, and I get the address, and I'm going into Kroger parking lot, and I was like, I'm looking around, I'm like, man, she done playing me, bro. I said, ain't no hookah spot over here. She was like, yeah, she's like, where you at? Where you at? I was like, I said, I'm over here in the Kroger parking lot. You said it was across the street. So I'm like, bro, there's nothing across the street. And then I think you told me the name. of it. And I was like, nah, bro. I said this place right here cannot be it.
Okay, y'all, disclaimer. Mind y'all, I told y'all I had just moved back to Murfreesboro in November. When I had been in Murfreesboro, like, living at the time, the place that we went to, at the time, that place was booming, so I just assumed it was still booming.
She ain't been home in 30 years.
Yeah, I hadn't been home in forever. I had been living in Chattanooga for 6.5 years. So I just assumed, like, oh, this place still, booming. I get up and I'm like, oh, this place, it was janky, y'all.
No.
Like, it looked like rats was in there.
This is our first date.
Yeah, technically our first date. And
Technically, it was.
yeah, it was our first date. But yeah, so he comes in there, even though he sees how janky it is, he doesn't ask any questions. And he just comes right in and, like, we just start talking. Like, it wasn't awkward, like, oh, hi. Like, it was just, like, we were very comfortable with each other. Like, we didn't have any times where, like, you know, when you're with someone and it's just like a pause and you're just like, so, it wasn't nothing like that.
I made sure that was one of my goals, to not have her feel uncomfortable as soon as I walked in. So as soon as I walked in, like, we were speaking like we known each other for about our whole lives. So we go in there, we talk consistently. I'm talking about first
hours.
We were outside, got cold, went inside.
Mind you, this is like the fall going into, yeah.
It's winter, babe.
Well, I don't know. I had like a off the shoulder type thing on. But it was still a sweat. I don't know. It's like it wasn't freezing, but it was kind of like, it was a sunny day. So like we had a little heat, but it was still like not a hot day.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have a little outside patio area where you can smoke hookah, and we were doing it out there for a while. And it got kind of chilly, so we went inside.
Like, I feel like we was in there talking for
We were
hours.
there for hours. Yeah.
And then so the night was perfect. Perfect. I'm talking about, we talked, like we had a boatload of stuff in common, and we love music, love the same music, love the same vibes. Everything was right. We leaving.
They know from the other video.
I'm gonna tell them again. We leaving, and I was like, okay. So we talked. I honestly, if I could have spent the night there, I would have spent the night there. Even though it was crazy, but I would still been with her, so it's been all good. So, you know, I'm giving I reach out, you know, we getting this hug thing. And what's interesting.
Okay. I mean, I still had to leave you with your mind, like, oh, what's she thinking about?
I kept on going right after
So
that.
when we hugged out to
For hours, and I get this little ugly ass hug.
yeah, so it
Like,
was
take care. Take care now.
Like, yes,
take
you
care.
have a blessed night. That's how the hug I gave him was.
Be blessed.
Yeah. But it was just like, after that, it's just been up from here. Like, it's weird. I don't know. I mean, it's a good weird. And it's like,
Everything I told her.
everything he's told me that he was going to do or what was going to happen has happened. Only thing that hasn't happened is just us getting married. And that's too soon. Like, and that's another question. We had some questions of, oh my God, you guys are so cute. When are you guys getting married? By all means, we definitely love the positive feedback, because a lot of people don't speak positivity. A lot of people speak negativity, especially when, you know, people are doing good, especially black people doing good. Black love doesn't get appreciated as much as it should. So, of course, we thank all the people that give us compliments and, you know, kind of look up to, like, our story and things like that. But by all means, y'all, marriage is something really serious, and it takes time. Like, it can happen in a year, it can happen in 2 years, but I feel like it's nothing that should be rushed. I mean, just because you love someone, I think marriage has to take time.
But don't get me wrong. When you know, you know. But still, when you know, it's certain things that you have to do before you get down on that knee.
Oh, yeah.
So.
But don't get us wrong, like, we've talked about it, and I mean, I know his feelings about getting married and all that stuff, but we just know we have some goals that we're trying to get to, and, you know, we know the whole basis behind marriage and all that stuff. So, of course, you know, whenever that time comes, you guys will know. It wouldn't be anything that, you know, we try to keep our, you know, a lot of our stuff private. At the same time, we try to give you guys, you know, as much of us as we can. So, so we have some more questions.
That was 2 questions for y'all.
Yeah, that's 2. So we got some questions that were very interesting. They were like very topic-centered questions. And the main question was, so they want to know if we could talk about people dating people that has kids. And they wanted to know, like, where do you draw the boundaries? So, like, when is it okay for you to introduce your boyfriend or girlfriend to your kids? And like, you know, is it hard dating someone with kids? And we found these questions really interesting because in our situation, it's very relatable.
Can I go ahead, or you finna go
I
ahead?
will. Okay, I will give this when now I'll let you go. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Here's my input. I know, cause who sent you that, Brian?
Brian. Shout out to Brian. He asked these questions.
Okay, now this is, I know a lot of women, I know a lot of men who go through these type of things when they have kids, but it's kind of rare these days to find somebody who doesn't have kids.
Especially
So,
in the 25 and up range is kind of hard.
yeah.
Now,
So,
I'm not saying like I don't want to say settle, but I'm not saying like you just have to find someone that has kids. Now, there are some people
no.
that don't. I don't have kids.
Right.
So, but I'm saying like it's gonna be rare to find someone that doesn't.
Yeah.
I put it that way.
So here's my input on it. My thing about dating men or women with kids, just I know there's a lot of people who don't like it, who don't agree. I see it on Facebook all the time. People are like, oh, I would never date, or I would never date
they
a
say
man with kids, or
they want the person that they're with for them to be their first, like who they have their first kid.
Right, and it's the same thing. Well, men, some men. That actually, I haven't seen any men that said they won't date anybody, you know, that has kids. Usually, some men are up to the challenge for that. They see that as a challenge.
Or they
So,
want that booty.
or that. But no, the thing about me is, I honestly, I didn't think I was gonna find anybody like for real, just because of some fact that I do have kids. But I didn't want that, so I had to make that clear when I found Jazz, to make that clear, like, yo, I have kids, but it's not gonna be like a difficult situation like how you think. And ever since then, I've shown her that, like, yo, I anything that I could do to reassure her that, you know, it wasn't gonna be like a difficult situation, or this and that, or this and that. Some women go into it and they're like, oh no, I'm not dealing with no baby mama drama. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with that. I was like, yo, you half of the time you don't know what you're gonna deal with. Like you may not deal with nothing at all. So honestly, you may. I mean, like I said, to each his own. Like if that's your preference, that's your preference. I'm not knocking anybody, but just because you didn't date that man who has 2 kids, and you think you're gonna have some drama with him, and you don't really know, you might just missed out on your blessing right there. You don't know what that was. You just assumed because that man had kids, you thought that it was just gonna be a bad transition. Now, you probably done heard from experience, this and that, but
or seen on TV.
But everybody's not the same, bro. Everybody's not the same. Now, there are people who do go through that. I ain't knocking that. There is some people that go through that stuff. So I kind of understand people's situation with that. But what was the...
To piggyback off of that, if you guys want to know how I felt, me being a single woman with no kids, I will say my whole attitude growing up was I never wanted to date anyone that had kids. I always wanted that fairy tale thing of like, when I get with someone, it's just me and him, and then we have our child together. I'm not gonna say that it was easy knowing that he had kids, because I've never pictured myself in that type of situation. But he did make it clear to me, like, you know, I would never have to deal with anything that's out of the ordinary. He would never put me in any type of predicament that I shouldn't be in, and I would never have to be in the middle of anything. And he has made sure that I've never had any issues. Now, like he said, I've always known of the baby mama drama, because I do have sisters that have kids with different men, and they deal with the baby daddy drama. So I know if a guy was to come in, they may have to deal with that. So I've seen the aspect, not just on TV or hearing it, I've seen it firsthand through family. So of course I'm like, oh no, I ain't trying to deal with that. Like I'm young, like I don't want to deal with none of that. Like I ain't got time for, it's already one thing to deal with someone's exes, but to think of like you have to deal with these people, like you're gonna be connected to these other people for 18 years at least. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So my thing was just like I don't want to deal with that. Like I'm just trying to be happily in love and get married, and then now I gotta deal with all the extra.
Right.
But he has made it really, I don't want to say easy, but he's made it very comfortable for me. His kids, we are pretty close. I don't have any issues with them at all. Um, what's it say?
What?
What does that say?
Free the what?
I don't know
Yeah,
what someone just
go
said,
ahead.
but he has made it just plain and straight for me. I would say it was an adjustment, and then again, you're gonna have people that will judge. Like for instance, at first, I will admit I was kind of nervous to say like, oh, meet my boyfriend. Oh, by the way, he has kids, because people look at me like, really, Jazz, like you met someone that has kids. Like, why would you even put yourself in that predicament? Like, you can find somebody else. Like, I've literally had people tell me that, like, you don't have to settle for that. And I mean, how can someone be less of a person just because they have kids? Not with me. Like, he didn't know that he was gonna, not be with, that woman at the time. He didn't know that he would end up meeting somebody later on down the line. So I can't fault him for that. And kids are not mistakes; they're gifts from God. Even though they're not my kids, if we were to get married, they're always gonna be my bonus kids in my eyes. Like I mean, I'll do the most I can without stepping boundaries of being their mom. Um, Same with like I even grew up in the situation. My mom and dad, my dad was married once before he met my mom. My mom was never married before she met my dad, but my mom had a son, like my brother. So my dad had 3 kids and had been married at one point, and my mom had one son. So they just merged, and I mean they were all young when they got together. But I mean my mom never says my stepdaughter; she just says my daughter. Like, I'm sure my mom tells me that they have bumpy roads or whatever, but I mean, that's expected. So I'm the type that I used to be the type to where I would listen to what people say and I would let that alter my true feelings. But at the end of the day, it's like, take it or leave it. Like, yes, he has kids, but that doesn't change him as a person. It doesn't change how he treats me, and it doesn't change any other aspect. So, I had to really do some hard, like, self-talk to myself and just realize, like, that doesn't make him less of a person, because I could be with someone that doesn't have kids and they could treat me terribly. So, I mean,
Yeah. And I think the next question was, how long did how long do you take like to for the kids to meet your significant other?
oh God, y'all. That was the hardest thing for me, not meeting them, but anytime he wanted me to meet them, I feel like I would panic. I would come up with an excuse like, no, no, it's not time, or I gotta wash my hair. Like, just stupid stuff because, I
And
mean,
she's good at doing that too. When she wants to get out of something, she'll find an excuse like
and
that.
it's not that, y'all, I love kids. Kids love me. Like, I've always been a kid lover, but it's different when you're dating someone as their kids, because at the end of the day, I'm just like, what if they don't like me and they tell their dad, like, no, I don't like her, and then he decides he doesn't want to be with me? Then everything just goes to shit.
And before she was thinking that, I told her their personality right off rip. And when she met him, the personality that I told her.
To the T. Like, he told me, he was like, my daughter, she just loves everybody. So she's going to come up to you and just be all over you. And then he was like, my son, like, he may be a little standoffish or whatever. What did you say?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But everything that he said, it happened. And, like, now we're all just, like, little peas in a pod.
Yeah.
But,
but here's my suggestion for y'all about how long you should wait for kids. Honestly, there is no time limit, but there kind of is. Once you know for sure, not a little bit, not no lust, like not no, oh, he's cute, he's gonna meet my kids. Oh, she's cute, she can meet the kids. No, it's nothing like that. You have to literally be focused on what you want and what you actually really know that 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 what's going on at that point in time. Like, yo, like it's pretty much like, okay, say
Don't just be bringing new people in and out your children's lives. That's not cool. They don't need to see that you just got all these multiple different people,
you
because
could.
then they gonna be confused, and it's not
Hmm.
cool. It's just like how when you want to introduce a new man or a new woman to your parents, you shouldn't just introduce every little floozy that you meet or any little nigga that you meet. You should want to introduce people that mean something to you, somebody that you could see yourself with. Okay, yeah, it may not work out, but that was somebody at that point that you felt that you could be with. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's my suggestion is just wait till you know for sure like that person is gonna be there. It ain't no BS. It ain't no playing games and that. Make sure that you know before you introduce your kids. Like you may know, like for real, and it might be sometimes you get in a relationship, be like, okay, well I thought I knew, but but at that point in time, make sure y'all got a thing going that's
yeah,
good,
that's
but
stable.
that's stable before you start to be like, oh yeah, my kids. No, don't do that right away. It's not necessary right now
Right.
because that's a different level of a relationship when you start doing the kids. Now, when you start doing the kids, that means it's the real deal. So, and that's how I feel about her. So that's why I was so gun ho for her to meet the kids. But I did wait. I waited for a while
Yeah.
because I was kind of big on that too. I was like, I don't want her to meet him or her yet because I'm gonna just wait. I don't want to just rush them in there because we still trying to get ourselves together and trying to get to know each other. I'm not gonna sit here and just bring my kids to the situation until I know that this is for real, and this is what we both want to do.
Right.
So
So just think wisely in that type of situation. Okay, next question. These are some personal questions about us because we're not gonna make this video super long.
it's super long already.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's our first live and it's a Q&A. We're gonna work on trying to make sure our videos aren't so long after this.
This is just live, so
Yeah. Next question is, how do we keep the romance alive, and what are our favorite couple things to do? Okay. As far as romance goes, I think that's weird for us. I don't. We're just very like all the time, just touchy feely,
touchy
like
feely,
hold hands,
open
kiss.
open car doors, this and that.
So,
Just little stuff, the little stuff.
but that's like normal for us.
Yeah.
So keeping romance alive, I mean, we don't really have issues in our department. It's just kind of like a normal thing for us. I don't know.
Like it's like embedded,
Yeah.
embedded in us. Like we don't like it ain't no on or off button. Like
And when I think
it's
of
on.
romance, I don't really just necessarily think always sexually. I think romance means just, not, I don't want to say whining and dining, but just kind of keeping like the love flowing. So
Making sure I tell her she's beautiful.
yeah, he's been like that since way before even we started like being on this type of level. Like back in 2015, like he's always made it known to tell me like how beautiful I am. And I wasn't used to that at first. Like he tells me every day, like he gives me compliments, like, and it's normal. At first I was just be like, okay, but it's like that's normal for him, and I love it because I wasn't used to that.
I reassure her because women want to hear that thing, want to hear those things from men.
Most definitely.
They don't
or even
wanna,
just saying I love you.
like just stuff like that. It don't take nothing but a little time to let your woman know she's beautiful. Because once you not telling her that shit, then
Another nigga will.
another nigga's gonna tell her that. So
Yeah.
I'll be down. I'll be down.
What are our favorite couple things to do? Of course, we've told you guys numerous times we like to hookah.
Hookah.
We like to switch it up. We try not to do, besides hookah, we try not to do the same thing all the time, but we do like going to the movies. We love listening to music. Like we send each other new music that we hear all the time, and then we even have our own playlist, and so we just add music onto it. We love watching movies. at home, not just also going to the movies. We like eating. We're trying to become foodies, so we're trying to try places we've never been to. We're actually going to a place after this. I've been.
I haven't been. This will be my first time.
If you're from Nashville, I know you guys have heard of Slim and Huskies. It's really famous out here, so we're going there after this. What other things do we like to do? He plays football, so I like going to his football games. Like, I'm not the...
And that's one thing that I love. I love that. Like, I don't ask for much. A little support. Support. Hey, I'm in the support and yeah.
I'm not the type that like I can't go. That's so boring. Like, I love sports. I love football. And on top of football, we're going to the Titans game.
She's a damn Packers fan.
Yeah, he's a Titans fan, but I was nice enough to get us tickets to it, so we're going. We'll vlog that whenever we go. So I mean, we're really open. We like to do like outside stuff. We like to try new stuff we haven't done.
Yeah, trying new stuff is a new thing.
Yeah.
So.
Last question. I mean, we kind of answered this already, but do we see a ring in the future?
Of course. I mean, what kind of question is that? Well, of course you're gonna see a ring in the future. I'm not dating her just to be like, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, we dated and that was it. Nah, of course you're gonna see a ring in the future.
Yeah, you should date to marry, basically. Like, you shouldn't just date to just be like, yeah, man, I had her.
Yeah, nah.
That's stupid.
And it's a waste of time. You just wasted half of your life.
Yeah. So we hope that we've answered all of you guys, pondering questions about us. Maybe if we see that you guys have more, we'll do like a part 2 later on. But as of now, this should suffice for a little bit. We've talked for almost an hour.
Yeah.
So, but we thank you guys so much. You guys have got us to 1.4K subscribers in a matter of, like, I think we've had our channel in, like, what, a week? Like, we are so happy. Like, that makes us really happy because we enjoy doing these videos for you guys, and we love spending time together to do these videos. And sometimes we go through hell trying to get these videos up for y'all. So we're actually going to be editing a video that we're going to be uploading later today. So yeah. Also, I'll pin a comment or something, but you guys make sure you use my ambassador code. I have my own ambassador code for AbellaEyewear.com. They have really nice sunglasses. They're like the new like designer look glasses. They're really not expensive. With my code, you can get 30% off. I
gotta get used to looking in the camera, cause if you see, I'm looking this way. I can't just stare at that little dot because it doesn't. I can't see myself when I'm talking, and I don't like that. But yeah, I hope we had the camera, but whatever. Yeah. We had to go live.
But thanks you guys for watching. I know you guys will end up watching this soon. A lot of people aren't. We've had a few people on live, but I know the rest of you guys will watch later. So if you guys have more questions, just like I said, ask them below, and we'll pin those for a later Q&A. So stay tuned for our next custom video.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'll get out of this.
Hit stop, the middle button. Middle. Babe, no. Oh my God, y'all. Where do you see in?
Click that.
Yeah, but it's saying are you sure you want to stop streaming?